the 5th ban as well. So Alliance.
But is it actually a necessary ban? Because Loda plays the Tiny, but he would also play the Centaur if they picked it, because I don't think Loda plays Beastmaster and only Bulldog does.
Yeah, I mean, Centaur is a Loda hero, so yeah. It's a bit weird to ban it indeed, as you said, seeing as Tiny's already there, and that's, of course, the hero that Loda will almost certainly be playing in this matchup. But, well, I mean, it's interesting to see this draft. It's going to be the Broodmother final ban here, and now VP Polar. They're going to go with the Clockwork this time. So it looks like it is going to be a little bit more orthodox lanes. Queen of Pain in the mid, your core Gyrocopter supported by your Rubik and your Earthshaker, and your Clockwork off. And I think at least compared to the first game, feeling a little bit more comfortable with what VP Polar are bringing to the table this time. Yeah, it's a bit better. You don't have that like position 1 lifestealer against Bane Beastmaster. I'm sorry, it was just like, I was really not expecting that at all. So now it's going to be Gyro. And Gyro does way better against these types of heroes. Now, in the late game, it's going to be kind of a hassle to deal with Tiny as just Gyro, but you have a really good support cast, right? You have Rubik, who can lift. You got Shaker for Echo during the late game. You have Clockwork to isolate the Tiny. There's a lot of things you can do with it. Yeah. So I think that VP's draft is a bit more solid than it was in the previous match. And not having to worry about your offlaner just feeding to Nightmare Arrows the entire game, that's also going to be pretty nice for VP. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do pick up now for Pycat. And I mean, is there anyone else that kind of comes to mind that could work very nicely with a Bane combination situation? Yeah, I guess they are going to be doing the 2-1-2 again, but I mean, they could pick any ranged hero, really. I think they don't want to go with a melee farmer, especially up against like potentially Clockwork, Shaker, and Rubik, and they already see that as position 1 Gyrocopter, and they're going to go with the Puck. All right, Pycat. Pycat Puck. It's good for being able to catch the Rubik and the Queen. Like, that's one of the bigger problems that their lineup had, is you can't really relocate aggressively if you don't have another hero with long reach, whereas right now Alliance only had the 1. And a lot of Beastmasters are rushing like Necrobook straight away, so they don't get Blink until a much later stage in the game. So with that being said, going Puck gives you another hero who goes immediate Blink Dagger, and he can also abuse the Hawk Vision, go for picks. You throw a coil down, you relocate on the coil, you just go for the control, and you just pick and push, like non-stop. Very typical Alliance play. Indeed, and well, as you said, very typical of the first game as well. Everything bar the Mirana picked up identically to the first draft from the side of Alliance, and VP Polar obviously switching it up here with the Rubik, the Earthshaker, and the Clockwork. And you feel a little bit more confident going into the game for the side of VP compared to the first matchup we saw. Well, going into the draft of the first game, I actually thought that VP could still have won that game if they played really well, but they kind of had to outplay Alliance, and Alliance clearly were bringing their A game. So if both teams are playing on equal terms, VP's draft is definitely better, I think, in this matchup than it was in the previous. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get ourselves into the game here between the sides of VP Polar and Alliance for the second game of this 2-game series here at the ASUS ROG DreamLeague Season 3 here with myself, ODPixel, and of course, Draskell. So, on the side of Alliance, what are we seeing? Well, we're seeing Bulldog once again on that solo off lane on the Beastmaster. Up on your safe lane, it's going to be Pycat joined up by Magicka. Magicka on the Bane, Pycat on the Puck, and of course, in your mid lane, it is going to be the Loda Tiny and the Ake.io once again. Draskell, what are we seeing coming out from the side of VP? Alright, so first, FNG, if he doesn't die, no, he's fine. He's fine. He's going to be playing the Shaker here. Just punches the Wispa 1 or 2 times. And okay, he's stuck on the... That's the second time in a row he's actually done that. Not on this cliff, of course, but in the previous game he also got stuck. And I think they also saw the ward placement. Does anybody have sentries out? No. Magicka will have enough gold for them soon, though. Anyway, we can go with the rest of the lineup. Phobos, he's going to be playing the Clockwork here on the side of VPG. He's going to be handling Queen for the second game in a row. Lil is going to be playing Rubik, and then finally Illidan is going to be playing the position 1 Gyro. Indeed, and well, let's see if the side of VP can put up a bit of a better fight than they did in the first game against Alliance, in which, of course, I believe it was about, was it 17-minute GG? It was 16 or 17, something like that. 16 or 17-minute GG, so a very, very quick game here. Let's see if VP are able to withstand a little bit longer and potentially take the game against the side of Alliance. So talking about the lanes, obviously we're seeing what both sides are bringing to the game so far coming up. Who do you kind of favor here in terms of lane strength? Well, they are a little bit different lanes, I guess. Alliance in the previous match, they did a 2-1-2, but I think the Bane Mirana was a big reason why they were able to succeed so much in their 2-1-2, because that one lane has just enormous kill potential, made FNG kind of want to stay bottom. That being said, I still think that Phobos died maybe more than he should have, and looking at it right now, I still think that Alliance are going to get farm on their Tiny. That's kind of really all they care about. The Queen versus Puck matchup,
A lot of people say that the puck should win, but really it is down to player skill, so this lane should be pretty close, I would say, and then safe lane for VP is obviously going to be good.
Bulldog on the bottom lane there, getting dragged back by the telekinesis, takes a rocket barrage to the face, brings him down fairly low here, and this Jara Rubik lane, it's not going to be a nice one for the Beastmaster.
Definitely not. I mean, the nice thing for Bulldog is whenever they go for the Rocket Barrage combo, he can just summon a Hawk or a Boar, and it eats some of the Rocket Barrage damage, like straight up. So even if he's caught away from his creep wave, he has a method of getting away here. And G is massacring mid. He's 7-4 right now at 1:13 in. That is insane. That's like safe lane farm.
Indeed, having a very good time indeed against Pycat. And in terms of the lane switch around, obviously putting Loader into the safe lane, leaving Pycat in the mid. Do you feel that was pretty much the best decision for Alliance? Or, I mean, what were they trying to go for with this switch around?
I think in the previous game, they felt a lot more comfortable putting the Tiny Wisp mid because they knew there would be no rotations at all coming in from VP. But G was still doing okay, even in that 1v2 matchup. So if you throw a Shaker into the mix, then there's a very good opportunity that the Wisp could just die. And then you would have to have, like, what, a Bane Puck safe lane? That just seems kind of awkward to me. So maybe they just opted to put the Puck mid to make rotations not so scary for them.
Phobos and Magicka thinking about the rune here. Oh, Phobos gets a bit spooked here as Ake comes in on the IO, and Magicka just giving them a little bit of a rundown. Lil here on the bottom lane has picked himself up a haste rune and thinking of making his way straight towards Pycat. There's going to be the Fisher blink forward, the phase shift there to dodge the dagger, but in comes Rubik. Ake's there trying to heal up Pycat, but the telekinesis dragging Pycat back. Pycat is still alive here, has got an orb and will be able to get himself onto the high ground, but Lil with his haste rune, he's just going to chase it down. There's the phase shift from Pycat, but the Fade Bolt will finish it off, and well, that was a very nice rune there for Rubik to find, and maybe going to try to go for more now. The haste rune has now worn off, but all in all, nice little bit of play there from the Rubik.
That was no kill without a haste. Ake and Pycat actually played that probably about as good as you could have asked them to. Maybe Pycat could have orbed into the trees instead of like trying to outrun a hero with a haste. That might have been the only other play. This Bulldog's going to spot out FNG here inside of the woods. Think he'll be fine though.
Yeah, he's going to be able to walk it off. FNG has got the boots, but there isn't really enough follow-up or burst damage to bring down the Bulldog. G fairly low now in the mid lane. Pycat returning. Still in terms of CS, the slight edge, of course, to G, but Pycat is catching up in terms of CS.
Yeah, the first 2 or 3 waves, G just annihilated him, and now he's starting to finally get back on his feet after that. Now, the death certainly doesn't help. So I would imagine G is going to be feeling still fairly comfortable, and with their support also getting the first blood, it's going to be a lot easier for him to make sure wards can stay up, and of course upgrading the courier isn't so big of an investment. And that also means that FNG can be greedy and save towards his blink, although he has bought a ward, so maybe they are just playing him as more of a position 4 or 5.
Farm-wise as well, between the 2 position 1s on both sides, we see obviously Illidan at the moment 26 for 14, Loader 22 for 12, so Illidan with a slight edge, but still pretty close between the two safe lane farm.
The other thing too is the Wisp and a Tiny, they're going to get kills just based off the fact that they're going to have combo on Tiny. Like, he doesn't really need insane farm during the laning phase because he's going to be all over the place once Ake reaches his level 6. It's more a matter of how much control can Alliance get over the game once they have relocate and once the puck has coil, because that's going to be when they're going to start fighting.
Pycat. Yeah, I was going to say, he just sits there. I think we're going to have a pause here. Yeah, because FNG is like...
That was some good manner pause from
FNG.
FNG.
That was really nice manner. Yeah, I mean, the Waning Rift and the Orb's going to be there, but fair play to FNG there.
Yeah.
He could have potentially looked for a kill, but because Pycat was just simply standing there. Has orbed into Lil here on the Rubik, and the Courier's there as well. But it looks like both Pycat and the Courier will be safe there.
What, did they cut him off? Oh, Bulldog's only level 1, never mind. He doesn't even have a boar available.
But no, fair play to VP there for that pause.
Yeah, really cool stuff. It's nice to see people having good sportsmanship, because some people get really bent out of shape with pauses and stuff, but... I don't think this is a really weird engagement.
Yeah, Pycat's just found himself here on the bottom lane. We'll be able to orb himself over the Fisher. But yeah, with that rotation there from Pycat, not going to find anything. It does give Ake a bit of space to get himself a little bit of XP. And obviously with any game with the tiny IO's level 6 is a really big key point for the side of Alliance.
And definitely getting that relocate for Loda is going to be one of the key points here for Alliance, as long as they can make something happen with it. But I'd say Bulldog's getting maybe even less this game than he did in the previous, and even Pycat coming down to soak some of the EXP from the off lane, it can really hurt your Beastmaster to not get like the quick level 6 or get level 7 for the max level of your Hawk and be able to start scouting things out, because it seems like Alliance play way better when they have these types of kind of tempo controlling heroes, like just Beastmaster Vision into Coil Relocate, and they can just find picks non-stop.
Indeed, 1 for 0 so far, the farm-wise, and for both sides, slightly favouring the side of VP, obviously with Gyro coming on top of the Tiny and Queen also coming on top of the Puck as well in the mid lane. And Loda with 1,500 gold in, hasn't picked up a point booster. I mean, do you still imagine we'll see the straight up Academics, or is this potentially a game where you could go for the Blink Dagger first?
I think Blink is great against VP's heroes. Like, what, 4 out of 5 of their heroes are pretty much a guaranteed combo kill at like level 8 or 9.
Oh, G with the Sonic Wave there. He stutters it, but he follows it through at the end, and the confidence is paid off there. Finds the kill onto Pycat.
G, one of probably my favorite mid player to watch when he's on this game. Like, he's very aggressive. He understands the limits of his heroes very well, and Queen, I think, is one of his best heroes. Also might be one of his most played on top of that. I know he used to play Puck quite often as well, but whenever he's playing his A game, he is an absolute treat to watch in middle lane.
And with that tower going down the bottom lane and Illidan being able to find the final touch, that's cementing his position there at the top of the net worth. 3.2k gold on this gyrocopter. But still, as we're saying, it's all about when Ake gets his 6 on the IO and if they're able to find the pickoffs against VP, because so far Alliance yet to get themselves on the kill board.
The interesting thing to note for this game too is the level 6 is very important for Alliance, but I don't think that VP's team is really as important to 5-man with as it was in the previous game, because they don't have like Tide or any like huge AoE teamfight ultis they have to go around. It's more just they have Queen, they have Gyro and Clock and Rubik. These heroes are much better at skirmishing than the draft that they put together in game number 1. So I think they're looking to try to meet the aggression of Alliance in terms of how often they can actually fight. So during the mid game, I would expect to see some serious fireworks going on here.
And towards the mid lane, in fact, we see a fair few heroes on both sides. The Earthshaker and the Rubik closing in towards Pycat. Pycat needs to be careful of taking a Fisher to the face, and there's your Fisher. There's going to be the follow-up telekinesis, and with the burst damage from G, they're going to bring Pycat low. Does get off the Waning Rift and the Orb, trying to bottle himself up, but G there with a final dagger to the back of the Puck will bring down Pycat again.
And Loda does opt for the blink here. Oh, Phobos is dead. He is so dead.
There's going to be a TP reaction. Loda indeed does blink in, and with the 1-2 combo, blows up the Clockwork. Quap was able to find the kill onto the Bane there. So they kind of trade a Clock for the Bane. So I guess Alliance...
It was okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, they just revealed the Blink Dagger as well on Loda, so now VP have a pretty good idea of what Alliance are trying to do here, and even Queen, for example, can die to a stun toss combo. If he's stuck on Intreds and the Tiny catches her out, can just be death.
Bottom lane, Illidan continuing to farm pretty much uncontested, 8.5 minutes in top of the CS top lane. G trying to chase down Bulldog here. Bulldog making his way back towards the tower. Will summon a boar, but with the burst damage, killing the boar straight away. G with a dominating streak, taking down the Beastmaster here.
Again, G just having his presence be felt, man. That's what he does when he plays Queen. I wonder if he goes Orchid. Yeah, he does. Okay,
I mean, the 5 kills so far for the side of VP, G's been involved in all of them.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you're Queen, right? Like, you want to have very high impact, no matter how early in the game it is. And he's already level 9 at 9 minutes. Some nice stacking going on here from the side of Alliance. They actually stacked both large camps, I want to say. And it also means that Ake is going to be able to soak enough experience to get to level 5. So within the next probably minute or two, we're going to start seeing some potential relocate ganks. And Pycat's had a really rough time. He's only got 27 CS, so he's not going to have his blink anytime soon. But the nice thing about Puck is his initiation range, even without blink, is still fantastic. So all they need is the Hawk to scout it, a coil to start the engagement, and then a relocate follow-up.
Bottom lane, G and FNG, they go in, and they really go in. Another kill for G, keeping himself in with 100% involvement on the kills so far, picking off the Bane. And indeed, as you said, we can expect to see a very quick Orchid being picked up by the Quap.
I wonder what his timing is going to be. He's still, like, farming more than almost everyone in the game, and he's been involved with all 6 of his team's kills. So G is an absolute monster this game. Pycat's still trying his best to recover from the not so great start that he's had. I don't know, I'm a little bit worried for Alliance. Now things, again, they won't really kick off until Ake hits 6. I know we keep kind of going on and on about that, but it really is the most important thing. There is a smoke here from Alliance, blink on the Tiny. Bane, not level 6 just yet. But they are looking to try to do something.
Yeah, Loader leading the way to here into the Radiant jungle. The side of VP Polar, they've got 4 heroes towards the mid lane. If Alliance look for a wrap round, they might be able to get something positive going on. And indeed, Loader, they're going to head straight towards the mid lane. But gee, there's a lot of heroes here. I don't know if Alliance can take this. Even with the jump, they're going to try it straight in onto the Queen of Pain with the toss and the avalanche. But he's going to be able to blink himself out. There's a Dream Call onto G. Pycat trying to bring him down, but G with the bottling, he will go down eventually to the final zap. But they have lost Pycat in tow. Loader and Ake retreating up the mid lane. Magicka trying to TP out from the sidelines, will be able to get himself out. So it is a 1-for-1 trade there. Pycat for the Quap.
Well, I'd still say that's probably worth it for Alliance. Like killing G, him being on a streak and everything, and stopping him from his Orchid progression.
Oh, Loader going straight in here onto Illidan. Illidan pops the cooldown, the Rocket Barrage as well. It won't be enough. Oh, will it? Oh, brings a failure. Oh, here comes Lil with the cleanup. Rubik there with the 1-2. Finds himself a double kill onto the Tiny and Io in return for losing
stolen
Illidan.
Waning Rift, man. The damage is real. The burst between a level 4 Waning Rift and a Fade Bolt is like 560 magic damage. That was pretty insane, actually.
I mean, they do kill Illidan, but losing both of the heroes in return, it's...
Not worth. Definitely not worth. I mean, people underestimate often having an overleveled support. Pykat's got an invis here.
It's straight away into lane, pops the sentry down. He knew that the invis had been picked up from Puck, and he knew that Pycat would have looked for that kind of rotation here with this Observer Ward just around the rune spot. On 9-3 at the moment, coming up to 12 minutes in, still top of the net worth, both the Quap and the Gyro. Good old Illidan and G there, 5.6k, 5.3k. And top of the moment for the side of Alliance is Loader still on the Tiny. How's he doing in terms of farm after the Blink Dagger? We've seen him in a little bit of action, and he's finished off the treads, and now he'll start that long and winding road towards the Aghanim Scepter.
Just as an example, last game, Loader had his Aghanims and treads by this point in the game. Just to give people a perspective on how much better Alliance were doing at this point. I don't know. I mean, he didn't have Blink, obviously, but so he probably had somewhere in the range of like 2,000 more gold. Just something to keep in mind. But Alliance, they've got level 7 on Bulldog now, so max rank Hawk. He's almost got his book 1. He's got Roar available. They have Relocate. Everything that Alliance need to try to turn the game is now available to them.
G piling on the pressure here in the mid lane. Bulldog at the moment on the top on his own, maybe looking to bait some action here as Tiny, Loader and Ake are hanging around in the jungle. FNG is going to head up to this lane along with Illidan. Loader just clearing up the camps here in the dire jungle, continuing to work his way towards his next big item. But it looks like VP, I want to go for it. They do have this ward here. They know where Loader and Ake are. FNG will be able to steal himself a nice little bit of golden XP there. Block work coming in. He's got the hook shot available here. DK Phobos doesn't want to quite go for it. Both Loader and Ake backing themselves right back up to the base.
You know, we haven't really talked much about Phobos and his impact in the game because he's kind of just been getting his EXP on. Like, we talk about the Beastmaster just because of Hawk Vision and how little commitment it is to really just send a Hawk across the map, whereas Clockwork really has to go all in like with a hook shot and try to make something happen that way. But VP looking to play the aggressors here, smoked up in the woods.
Indeed, heading towards this bottom lane. It was spotted out there by Alliance with that Dire Observer Ward in the mid lane. The pings did come out from Magicka, but Magicka, he's still going to get caught out. Here we go with a lift from Lil, bringing him to the right side of the cogs, but another rotation, but they all get caught in the Sonic Wave there. No, they've lost the Bane, but they've taken down the Rubik. They'll actually find G here as well as Illidan comes in, trying to clean up even more, favoring the side of VP Polar. They will bring down 3 from Alliance. Now it's Loader and Bulldog on the retreat. Will be able to find himself a regen room, but Illidan, has he got any points in the missile? I don't think he had any points in the missile earlier.
No, he doesn't.
No, he hasn't skilled any points in the missile, but he's still pretty speedy. Loader there with the avalanche and toss, but Loader will actually get caught up by the Fissure. He's going to be on the right side for it though, and he looks like he will be able to get himself out of there. So 3-for-2 trade there, favoring the side of VP.
Not quite the fissure they were looking for out of FNG. Very close though. Kind of hard to guess where they are when they're in fog, so not really too surprising that he couldn't get him on the right side. But nice turnaround from Alliance. It could have gone really bad after G landed that amazing Sonic Wave into Scream.
Loader straight in onto the Rubik there with the avalanche toss, but he gets lifted up, and there's your Echo Slam as well. They'll bring down Tiny. They do lose the Rubik now, but now FNG and Illidan trying to chase down Magicka and Bulldog, seeing if they can find anything more here. The body blocking though from the Necros is real, but there's your Fissure into cooldown. They do bring down Magicka here, and well, the action just continues. 14-6 at the moment. A lot of people dying on both sides here.
Yeah, the Bulldog actually played the fight in the woods very well. Like, as soon as she blinked in, he just knew he had to commit the roar to him straight away, and they were able to get a turnaround kill. But Pycat still suffering so much on Alliance. Like, he's going to hit level 10 soon, so he'll finally have his maxed out combo, but he's still 1,000 or 1,200 gold away from even having his Blink Dagger, and it's 15 minutes in, whereas G is 300 away from a completed Orchid. So the net worth difference, like, he's trailing G by 3,000 gold at 15 minutes in. That's like a massive deficit to overcome. Now, Alliance do have the teamfight utility to be able to turn this, without a doubt. Like with the Blink Tiny, his combo damage, they just really need the puck to also have a Blink to follow it up. Because adding that extra silence, the coil, and the orb damage can just guarantee a kill. Like, that Rubik lived through a stun toss.
Oh, there's a very aggressive hook shot here from DK Phobos. Straight into Ake, but Ake with the tether will be able to get himself out of the cogs and up to the high ground, pairing himself up with Loader. And it doesn't look like VP will be able to follow that one through.
Yeah, very close. FNG only like a split second off on the fissure timing. Maybe it would have killed Ake, maybe not. I think he might have had enough health to live either way, and he also had some stick charges, so. VP still, though, leading this game, not by an unsurmountable margin, but still. Now the Orchid up on the Queen of Pain. God, he's just going to go for like Pycat or Bulldog every single fight. It's going to be so hard to deal with that.
And heading down bottom to join up with the Earthshaker. How's FNG doing in terms of farm? What's he got on him at the moment? He's got a good 700 or so gold on top of the Tranquil Soul Ring on his way to the Blink Dagger. So one more good fight and maybe he'll have it for Pycat here with the Invis Rune. Potentially setting something up that's going to be a TP in.
The Scream animation showed, so I think they know there's an Invis.
Okay, Bulldog. Going to be fine, just heading away from the side of VP. VP at the moment all very much rotating around their own jungle, and now trying to go in on the mid lane, bottom lane. G's trying to go in onto Pycat with the Orchid and the Sonic Wave. That's a very, very dead puck. Loader and Ake looking for a bit of action themselves here on the top lane, forcing themselves onto this tier 1. The fortification will come out, and Illidan makes his way towards this top tower. There's going to be TPs coming out as well, and Loader just blinks himself straight out. Ake to back up as well, but there's your hook shot onto Ake. Ake will be able to tether again, though, towards Loader, and looks like he will be able to escape from the clockwork once more.
That's got to be so annoying for Phobos. It's like twice in a row. It's like normally you think, Wisp, free kill. Just kidding. Tether off cooldown. You kind of have to catch him as soon as the tether is used. Otherwise, even then he might be able to relocate.
This rotation from Alliance. Loader going straight in onto Illidan's Storm Rage. Ake tethering himself up, but Illidan trying to change this one down. There's a homing missile onto Loader. There's a roar from Bulldog onto Lil. But now with the Fissure from FNG and the Orchid from G as he comes in, they'll be able to bring down Bulldog. They did lose the Clockwork and they do lose Illidan. And Loader and Ake, maybe they're thinking about going for more. Pycat's coming as well. And FNG, he's just running straight for the IO. He's going straight in, but he's not going to achieve anything with it. Loader gets a double kill, and now he might get more trying to go onto Lil, but Lil steals the toss, and now G trying to turn around with a Fade Bolt with the right clicks. Ake tethering up, trying to save Loader. It won't be enough. Dream Core gets dropped onto Lil, and G blinks away. Will snap. Illusory Orb finishes off the Rubik. It is just G remaining alive here. But, well, all in all, a nice wraparound there from Alliance, and even though they do lose Loader and Bulldog, coming out on top of that skirmish.
Yeah, it was a 4 for 2, and Pycat desperately needed that gold. He's now very, very close to his Blink Dagger, and just imagine if he had it for that fight. That would have been like a 2 or 3 man Waning Rift Orb Coil, and they might have even been able to get more out of it without losing their Tiny in the first place. So once Alliance get that item up, it's going to be a lot different for being able to start fights. No, don't die, Pycat. All right, he's good.
G, yeah, just a little bit too low on mana to follow that up with a Scream. Yeah, Mercy will be given to Pycat, and yeah, as you said, Pycat very close to the Blink.
Yeah, that death would have been really awful. I think G was just playing it safe because everyone on Alliance were still kind of alive at that point, and maybe he was expecting a counter TP. So definitely understand the not wanting to commit, as he didn't even have enough mana for another Blink and a Scream. He could only use one or the other. Still though, this is, it's kind of rough for Alliance. They only need 1 or 2 good fights, though, and I would say they're kind of back in it as Ake. He's sitting on 2,100 gold.
He's a rich guy. I mean, if we look at the net worth of the individual heroes, yeah, I mean, yeah, Quap and Jara are at the top, but then you've got 4 members of the side of Alliance on top of the Rubik, the Clockwork, and Earthshaker of VP Polar.
Yeah, it's like I was saying, it's 1 or 2 fights maybe for Alliance that go well in their favor, and I think it's back to ground zero. I think it's an even game at that point. And the other thing, too, is we spoke about the late game difference and VP's team and how it functions against Alliance. Alliance are going to have a lot more control of vision because of Beastmaster. They're going to be able to isolate heroes a lot easier with their relocate and their puck Blink Dagger. And plus,
going to be fine. They're going for some very cheeky warding here. FNG smoked up with Lil and TK Phobos. They might catch him here on the way back out of the Radiance map, but no, he's going to go back the safe way. Ake He's in a bit of a tricky position. Echo Slam.
Wow.
Everything thrown down onto the IO. A lot of hate there from the side of VP for Ake.
Yeah, no kidding. Can they catch Pycat here? He threw out an orb.
Oh, the Fish of the Orchid and G coming in as well. That's Pycat getting caught out, and 2 heroes in quick succession on the side of Alliance dropping.
At least he got his Blink Dagger before he died there. He didn't get a deny on the tower, which I think is why he was there in the first place, but it's pretty weird to see somebody throw out an aggressive orb like that if you know the enemy team is nearby. Because your orb is one of your primary escape mechanisms if you're getting ganked, and he just kind of threw it out. But either way, VP, very nice couple of turnarounds there.
Bulldog here on the bottom lane with the army, being able to push down this tier 1 mid lane. VP going for a push onto the tier 2. Looks like they'll remain aggressive here, and they will be able to finish this one off, finding themselves the tier 2 here and getting the last hit onto Illidan. And Illidan still sitting on 9.7k. Very, very scary amount of farm with that, and 10.6k onto your Quap as well at the moment.
I still think even with all these pickoffs, Alliance are still in this game. Like, not just in it, but maybe is not even as one-sided as we say it is when VP is leading by a decent margin, because G, he's going actually for BKB, which is going to make him very, very devastating in team fights. I guess it's kind of what Dendy does here.
Gets straight in with the weight with the Dream Core, the Fiend's Grip. GK Phobos trying to break it up with a hookshot Cogs, but they've already lost G on the quad. They might lose Phobos as well as Loda tries to chase this one down. The battery is causing some minor issues here for the Rocky Boy, but a Blink 4 from Pycat, and there's the toss to finish off Phobos. Double kill here for Loda. And, well, I mean, yeah, VP, they run themselves into it, and they just can't come out on top of that one.
It was a 4v2 at best, so no one else on the side of VP was reacting to that gank, and I don't even think Lil had a TP. No, I didn't. So now I think Aghanim's going to be complete here on the Tiny anytime now. And once he picks that up, it's just going to get worse and worse for VP in terms of what they can actually do to deal with Loda's Tiny, as he's got 2,000 HP now. He's got the Wisp Tether all the time. With the tier 1s almost all being dead on VP, like mid is the only one standing, that also opens up the opportunity for Alliance to Roche, and they can just relocate the Tiny in and just leave him there and just have him try to kill it on his own, or they can take one good fight and then it's just boom. Alliance probably have an advantage.
It's going to be the Flare just scouting out Roshan. The Alliance, they've not decided to head into the pit as of yet. Tiny and I, we're just cleaning up some Ancients there. As they do it, continue to increase the amount of farm, and Loda's about 9.9k on this Tiny now, really catching up with the 2 cores on the side of VP, both the Quap and the Gyrocopter. Mechanism on Ake complete as well. It certainly feels a lot more even than it did in the early game now.
Well, it is a lot more even for sure, but also remember that there are 2 10-second BKBs on the cores of VP now. And the Shaker is going to get closer and closer to his own Blink. He's at 1700 right now on FNG. And once that happens, the dynamic of the game continues to change. So fresh BKBs means that VP definitely have a teamfight advantage, like no doubt about it. Unless for some reason they're able to get bursted before they pop their magic immunity. So maybe like the Tiny blinks on them and gets a stun into a roar. Like that can be a way to counteract the BKB timing. But if VP get the jump and they activate BKBs, the teamfight will be very lopsided in favor of them, at least for a little while. So Alliance need to be very wary of the item timings of VP and the next team engagement they take.
And we see Illidan at the moment with 2.1k gold on top of the Phase Helm BKB. What do you expect for him to go for next? Can he go for a very offensive kind of damage item now at this point?
MKB is pretty common. He hasn't gone SNY though, which we see a lot of gyros doing, just for the added mobility, a little bit of damage that it gives, and being able to stand in the fight a tiny bit longer. But oh, Phobos.
Phobos could be in trouble here. There's going to be the Fiend's Grip straight up from Magicka. The axe is flying through as well. Pycat will make himself known with the burst damage, and the brain sap from Magicka finishes off the clockwork. Now Illidan coming in with a cooldown, won't be able to catch anyone out on the side of Alliances. They're already dispersing back to their side of the map, and very kind of clean and quick kill there for Alliance.
I mean, just finding somebody with a smoke is better than nothing. I mean, the worst person they probably could have walked into would have been Rubik, because he already has his core items and he has no reliable gold to lose, so getting even the clockwork is still better than just finding nada. Tier 2 being pushed in here. Looks like VP want to try to react to that.
Yeah, G coming in from the sidelines, and Illidan just pushing the wave back out here. 19 to 13 at the moment, 25 minutes in. Magicka has got a completed Glimmer Cape as well on the Bane. And I mean, we're looking at the farm on Loda. I think he's about 2.5k now on top of the Aghanim's Blink Dagger here, 2.6. I mean, what does he go for next? Can he afford to just go up for the straight up kind of Assault Cuirass, or does he need a BKB himself on the Tiny?
I think BKB is always going to be necessary against these heroes, but maybe with Alliance's draft, they don't have to go BKB immediately unless they want to contest Roshan. I'd say if Alliance are looking to try to take Rosh or fight around it, then BKB is definitely the choice. But if they want to draw the game out and take it to a later game stage where the Tiny just becomes like super stick-slotted, then going for AC is also very good.
So a couple of big item pickups coming out from the side of VP now. We see Earthshaker's finished off the Blink Dagger. Gyro, Illidan opting for the Shadow Blade.
Yeah, that's a bit interesting. I'm not sure why he goes Shadow Blade.
Maybe we'll see why now. He's going to go in for a cheeky little kill onto Magica, but Magica's got a Glimmer Cape. He's going to try and hide it and duke it out. He's going to just TP straight out. Lil coming in. They will be able to find him as they do grab him and burst him down there, bringing down Magica. So, I mean, yeah, Shadow Blade Gyro. Talk to me about it, Andy.
Well, it definitely has some strengths. Like it's good damage, good attack speed. It's not as expensive as it used to be, and also builds into Silver Edge, which can be nice against Tiny, I guess, during the late game, disabling Craggy. But that's not really super important for him, as his range is actually higher than the maximum range of Craggy exterior anyway. So.
Oh, hang on, Gyro bottom lane. He's chasing down Ake here, and Ake.
Well, this works.
He's all alone. He pops the mech. He will be able to tempo over to the creeps. Ake looking for the play here, and I think that might just make him out of there safely.
Yeah, he even went for the last couple of flag shots in middle lane.
Yeah, mid lane, G pops the BKB to avoid the avalanche from Loader, and they will be able to follow through and bring down Beastmaster. Now in comes Pycat with a Dream Collar to free. FNG goes down. It's going to be a double kill for Loader as he clears out the Rubik as well. Very nice initiation there from Pycat, catching out all three heroes.
The difference that a Blink Dagger makes, man. That's all you really need on the puck in this game. He even went back for a Glimmer Cape of his own. So now he'll be able to keep himself alive, even with Orchid.
Oh, mid lane, waning rift onto G, and of course he hasn't got a BKB here for the second. So we'll still be able to blink away, but Pycat is already there. Finishes off G on the quap.
Very close.
Oh, Illidan here with the Shadow Blade going in nice and close as Phobos hookshots into Magica. They will be able to bring down Magica, but now in comes Ake and Loader. There are the cogs in the way at the moment, but now Loader will be able to chase it down. Illidan pops the BKB and he goes straight for the IO. Illidan really wants to kill Ake. Loader and Pycat thinking about going for Phobos, but he's a little bit too tanky. Ake will be able to relocate back to the mid lane after the relocate gank and gets himself away from Illidan.
The outmaneuvers from Alliance are pretty strong right now. It just goes to show how big of a difference it is when you actually have all of your core abilities up in middle lane. Pycat, he gets picked.
That's how you outmaneuver the outmaneuverer.
That's the double outmaneuver, the reverse stream, as they would say.
Stream indeed. That's Pycat down for a good minute or so. And we see in the Dire Jungle just looking for a bit of dewarding here. And the Rubik as he backs himself back out. Didn't quite catch the set of a ward that was on the lower ground here for the side of the Dire. But I mean, as you said, yeah, the fact that Lil has got this Blink Dagger and Arcane core items already built up, you know, we can still expect to see the plays come out from Rubik. Having a little bit of a go here at Roshan here, Illidan. He's going to back off now. He doesn't feel as comfortable as he did, and heading towards the mid lane. Lil setting this one up with the telekinesis, the stolen illusory orb. There's going to be the roar from Bulldog holding back Rubik. Illidan throws down the cooldown, but he's already lost all his mana because of these Necro units, and we'll actually have to back off here. Loader coming forward onto G here with the avalanche toss. G will be able to blink himself out, but very, very low on health, and Loader, he's just going to clear the wave out and not chase for any more now as VP themselves have to back up.
He's actually opted to go back for a Chrysalis after his Hyperstone, so he's not going to go for the AC, just going to go for the maximum amount of damage. Also much better for killing Roshan, and here come VP again.
Yeah, they're trying to fight into this one. Illidan leading the way. Magica will be able to remove the stolen Hawk here from Rubik. Illidan, he's looking for Enigma. There's going to be a Fissure catching out Magica, but Magica's on the wrong side of the Fissure. It doesn't matter if you're Phobos, the hook shots yourself over. There will be the mech from Ake, keeping Magica alive. Ake does go down, but the Bane, he's still up there with the Glimmer Cape, reducing a lot of the magic burst damage. Will he be able to keep himself alive now? There's going to be they're going to be able to lift him up, bring him down, and even with the coil there from Pycat, he falls there as well. Three heroes just throwing themselves at the side of VP and Alliance. They lose them all.
That was really well played by Phobos, getting the cog on the Pycat puck as soon as he came into the team fight, and he had no method of escape at that point. They also pick up a gem on VP, and Roshan definitely on the table here for Virtus.Pro. So if they get this Roshan, I'd say they probably are able to clear the last two outer tier towers, but I don't know if they can go base. It's still going to be very hard to crack high ground against Alliance's draft, especially when the Tiny is getting more and more farmed as time goes on.
Loader coming in close, maybe thinking about potential steal. They've got the flying vision here from Bulldog, but it's not going to be able to do any kind of play here as Illidan's able to finish off the Roshan, gets himself the Aegis, and still 2.2k gold on this Gyro on top of the Shadow Blade pickup now.
Well, I don't know. This game seemed like it was really VP favored, but even with the Aegis advantage, they need to do some serious damage with this. What do they do if they can't crack high ground in the late game against Tiny Wisp? That's the biggest concern that I have now, because Illidan hasn't really gone for a super late game build. Like, a lot of gyrocopters just go for the straight damage item after their BKB. Like MKB, sometimes you see people pick up Butterfly, or they go like SNY Dominator into MKB, but he's opted for Shadowblade. And I think he's actually going full Silver Edge. Yeah, he is. Okay, so he is favoring the, I guess, aggressive potential of the Shadowblade.
Phobos with this Invis, he's found himself Pycat.
He can't kill Puck. He's got a Glimmer Cape, and he also has Orb off cooldown, so there's no way. He's just scouting it out for the team.
Looks like both teams just going to go for the trade here. Loader pressurizing the middle tier 1, but at the same time, Illidan and, of course, G finding themselves the tier 1 on the top lane. FNG getting caught out here by a Fiend's Grip. Loader's going to be there with the follow-up, but he gets lifted up by Lily. He's already had to find the toss. Now he finds the toss into FNG. Will bring down the Earthshaker, but G's coming in, looking for Ake. Orchid onto Ake, and G pops the BKB. Pycat with the stolen Fiend's Grip from Lil. Lil going straight for it, and will be able to bring down the Puck there. Very nice use there of the spell steal from Rubik, and they'll lose Magica as well as G finds himself a double kill, and the trade ends up being a 3-for-1 there, favoring the side of VP, and very nice play there from the Rubik.
They do lose a tier 2 in the meantime though, so it's not as if Alliance were taking that team fight for nothing. Maybe a bit over-aggressive going near the tier 2s when the enemy team has an Aegis, but still, even in the times where they might not make the best choice in terms of fight, they're still getting something from it. It's not as if they're just getting killed and not getting any map control, because if you look at the lanes, they still kind of pushed out bottom. Obviously they lost their tower, but Alliance trying to maybe keep them on their side of the map for a little while until Illidan's Aegis disappears.
Okay, Bulldog at the moment with the Necro 3 and the Boots of Travel complete. Illidan on top of the Silver Edge, 2,000 gold yet again. Lil, he's picked up a point booster and looks to be thinking about building the old Aghanims on your Rubik.
Aghanims is fantastic. Like, he's been on point with his spell steals as well. He's gotten Coils and Fiend's Grip, arguably not that hard to steal. You can also steal Roar on top of that, and he is just a beast, like having so much farm. Level 15 at 32 minutes in as a support. Very, very high level.
Daedalus now complete on Loader, so yeah. Loader is going to be hitting pretty damn hard in these fights.
Yeah, it's going to be like one good team fight for Alliance. They get Roshan maybe, or when it respawns, of course. But with the next fight, I definitely think that VP are going to have the advantage, but Aegis is gone soon, so they need to try to capitalize on this.
Illidan coming in here with the Shadow Blade. Pycat puts the Waning Rift, blinks back, but there's going to be the Fiend's Grip again being used from Lil. Illidan pops the BKB to make sure that he can bring down the Beastmaster without being disrupted, and Phobos going into Magica. He'll find himself a killer onto the Bane, and well, maybe thinking about even more now. Loader and Ake, they're able to get themselves away, but another couple of very nice pickoffs for the side of VP coming out on top of Alliance again.
The vision from Alliance just isn't what it used to be. Like, they have one ward by the tier 2 mid, but they knew they were coming down the lane. I don't know why they decided to kind of hang around there. And VP now have the potential to go high ground. Glyph is pop. This is it. Alliance need to be able to defend this.
Yeah, they've not got either Magica or Admiral Bulldog here for this defense. Still 20 seconds or so before they're back down. And
they have tier 2s on other lanes. Maybe they just sack this instead of they go for the ultra late game. I forgot that VP didn't actually kill the outside of the base, so they're actually going to use Relocate to counter push instead.
FNG comes in with a Fisher onto Loader. There's going to be a TP back as well from the Clockwork. But they're not going to be able to chase that one down. I think Clockwork's TP actually might got cancelled here, by the Dream Call from Pycat, stopping Clockwork from being able to return to the top lane.
TI3 all over again. $1 million coils. But still, very nicely played by VP. Seems like they're kind of the well-oiled machine we all expected them to be as a TI invited team in a second game, whereas game 1, Alliance kind of just walked all over them. But Alliance still definitely in the game. Like, one set of racks isn't really anything against a tiny competition when he has Aghanims.
Phobos heading down towards the bottom lane, has the hookshot at Magica with a Glimmer Cape, but he's going to walk straight into a Clockwork, and Phobos looks at the hookshot. The Nightmare's there in time. G blinks forward though. Orchid's up the Bane. Phobos just walks in nice and close with the Battery Assault, and there's not a lot that Magica could do to keep himself alive here. He will go down, but that has bought the time for Loader and Ake to get themselves out of the bottom lane and back to safety here.
Wait, is he just going all damage? I think he's going for Moonshards.
Moonshards?
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's amazing on Tiny, because the hero loses attack speed with his ulti, and he hits so hard that attack speed becomes a better DPS increase. The
one problem is, though, that we've got to be aware of in these fights is that, of course, Loader, he's forfeited the BKB, and Clockwork has got a Heaven's Now Bird. Cooldown in the mid lane. from Illidan will find the kill onto Beastmaster. So yeah, in these engagements, Tiny could get shut down for a fair bit by Clockwork.
I think he will go KB after Moonshards, though. He kind of has to. Like you said, the Halberd, all the magical damage with Echo Slam, there's just no way he can live. Like, he doesn't actually have enough HP to live through that in general. And plus, not being able to hit the entire time kind of sucks, too. So yeah, I think he'll probably go back for that very, very soon. And VP looking to pressure here, but I think they will end up being forced back because a Wisp and a Tiny kill the base extremely fast. Glimmer Cape into Blink maybe here.
Load indeed heading up to the high ground. FNG throwing out a Fisher. There's going to be TPs coming back straight away. FNG tries to get him, but indeed the Craggy stops him from following up a secondary stun. That's going to be the relocate out here from Loader and Ake. And well, I don't think they want to fight, so it looks like Ake may end up just offering his life up here to the gods that are VP here. We're going to sit around. There we go. Goodbye, Io. That's always painful to see there for the Io.
I mean, sometimes you got to give your life for the greater good, you know? Got to be the martyr for the team.
But yeah, Loader now with the finished Moonshot, and as you said, you'd be surprised if he goes for anything else other than a BKB now.
I really do think that this is one of the better timings for a BKB when the enemy team has a really big advantage and they want to try to end. If you're playing Wisp Tiny, you always have the potential to come back, and with this build, he has maybe some of the best backdoor potential you can ask for outside of having like an Assault Cuirass on top of his item build, but then you're running out of inventory slots because you've gone Blink. So if he doesn't go BKB now, with the mass attack speed and damage that he has, like this is the build that utilizes BKB the best because it's highest DPS. And no one really on VP besides maybe the Gyrocopter, and I guess G hits pretty hard too, but their right click isn't that substantial right now. Although Illidan now has a full butterfly, so maybe the right click is a bit scary.
Oh, looks like Loader here is just going to waltz himself straight up to the high ground, and he's thinking about it, hanging around, just scouting it out with the illusions. The side of VP themselves, still 4 members in the Dire jungle. Aghanim's now picked up on your Rubik.
He's rich.
He's very rich, and potentially we're going to start to see some more big plays come out from Rubik this game. Obviously, so far, been doing pretty well. 8 kills and 10 assists on the guy.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a game on a Rubik where you can get to Aghanims as a like 4 or 5, you're living the dream anyway. Even if you lose, you still win because you had farm. I love playing Rubik when you actually get to have some items. Bulldog.
Blink 4 from both Rubik and G as they go in. The Nightmare and the Glimmer Cape actually keeping Bulldog alive, and he might live through this. Turns around with the Raw onto G on top of the Fiend's Grip from Machka. That's a deck winner playing the stop.
The Aghanims! It's putting everything to sleep. Oh my god, he dies anyway, but that was super clowny. There was like 4 or 5 Nightmares at one point there. They do lose their gem as well, which is a bit of a bummer. Well, I guess it was originally Alliance's gem, but I think Lil was carrying it around.
Oh, FNG with the Echo Slam onto Ake and Loader. That's going to be Ake going down now. Illidan coming in, trying to finish off Loader. Loader will be able to force himself back up and away. But a 1-for-2 trade there, favouring the side of Alliance, obviously getting both the Quap and the Rubik in the top lane.
I don't think I've ever seen a stolen Aghanim's Fiend's Grip before in a competitive game. Like, definitely at a pub, but never in this type of environment. That was pretty funny.
Oh, Illidan here with the Shadow Blade, scouting out Machka. We've got both the Earthshaker and the Clockwork coming nice and close and personal. They do have a hook shot as well available on the clock. There's going to be a Fisher onto Bulldog, Rocket Barrage as well. BKB popped by Illidan in case they want to continue to fighting. And, well, Pycat, he's dropped the Dream Call onto FNG. After DK Phobos has to orb himself out here. Now Loader comes in with a Blink onto FNG, but FNG with the Force Stuff, able to dodge the Avalanche. Machka's popped down the Nightmare onto Phobos. And now Loader, he's got a homing missile coming his way. There's going to be a Fisher from the high ground from FNG. Cooldown as well, and now he's trapped, and he'll go down there. DK Phobos finishing that one off with a hook shot, and that's Loader down for a good 75 seconds.
He has buyback, though. He might have to use it. The tier 2s in the top and bottom lane are now dead, so if he doesn't buy back now, their racks are definitely going to take some serious damage. Illidan is very, very tanky. He's got 24 armor and 2100 health, maybe working his way towards that Satanic, and yep. Tier 3 going to be in some trouble. Maybe they aren't forced to buy out because the Queen TP'd back. Maybe they can just defend with the heroes they have available. But Pycat has no mana. He has to go base first.
Yep, the tier 3 already seeing at half health, and there's your buyback from Loader. Machka going to drop the Enfeeble onto Illidan. There's going to be the Fiend's Grip as well, but Lil cancelling the channeling with the Telekinesis. Now Phobos coming in, disjointing the entire fight there with the Cogs. Machka will find the Nightmare onto Phobos, but it will get taken off Phobos by Lil, and they'll toggle it as they move themselves both back and away from the base. Now Bulldog coming in, has got the Blink, has got the Primal Roar available. Phobos now has the completed Aghanim Scepter here on the Clockwork. A lot of tensions around this bottom lane, but VP, they're going to back themselves off and look for Roshan now.
Roshan is the play. If you can get it for free, you force the buyback from Alliance, it makes much more hesitant to try to engage. Maybe they feel like they have to, though, because with Aegis, and I believe this is Cheese as well. No, this is only... Wait, this is only second Roshan.
Yeah.
That's surprising in a 40-minute game to only have 2 Roshans. I thought for sure it would be Cheese, but still, Aegis is going to be going the way of Illidan here, and he should also be able to finish his Satanic if he wants to push. They just immediately smoke afterwards, and the Hawk is out, but it didn't spot the smoke.
Oh, they tried to smoke up themselves. There was a hook shot there, but I think it might have been blocked by
it
the Hawk.
No. It just missed.
Okay. Might stay back up.
Relocate.
Oh, here we go. Looking for the rat here.
The damage.
They gotta go back. Fortification there. They're gonna need to do something.
Or maybe not.
here,
No. It's only 6 seconds. I don't think. Maybe he gets Rax. Oh my God, he does so much damage. Oh, they left him. He has to TP. He doesn't have room for a TP.
Phobos has come in, but Phobos might be true. Has got the blade mail. Loda's just going to fight through. There'll be the cooldown here on the bottom lane as Illidan's trying to find himself a set of racks. There's been a blink forward from Quap. Loda is getting low, has to get himself out as they try and fight him. Echo's down there, blowing up Ake. They'll find Magicka as well here. Buyback straight away from Ake. And now G with the dagger onto Bulldog. The final right click, that will bring down the Beastmaster. And Beastmaster, Bulldog does not have buyback for this fight. The buyback, of course, has come out from Magicka. Now find the Fiend's Grip here onto FNG. Bring him down low. Pike there with the right clicks as well. FNG's going to have to get himself out, but the Dream Call holding him in place. Now the turn around with the Orchid and the fish onto Magicka. Magicka will go down. It's a wicked sick kill streak here for Illidan Storm Rage. And this is Loda, Magicka, and Bulldog all dead and none with buyback. Now Pikecat coming in, but the damage from Illidan, it just seems to be too much. He's going to try and orb himself away, but Pikecat falls as well. He does have buyback, but Alliance, they've only got the puck in the IO, and it's GG.
Yeah. Loda didn't have buyback when they relocated him top, and he also didn't have a TP on him. So when he actually was backdooring, it would have probably been better to buy some Battle Fury at the end of the game. Lil, what a player. So,
what a play.
Yeah, at the very end, Loda didn't have buyback. So if that's the case and they lose him, it's just immediate like game over, because he does probably some of the highest damage. And I really felt like he needed a BKB like so badly. I get why he didn't buy one.